again, guys, to another successful live. So, in today's live, I will be talking about how the Super Bowl 60 came about. So, in the first quarter, as you can tell, there were so many things happening that I could not explain. The first one I didn't like was actually the halftime show. Now, honestly, I'm not going to criticize any music artist because I don't want to. I just thought it was really strange. But like I say that because one was that Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars were my favorite, absolutely. They made a song together. And to me it's like it got destroyed because that song was number 1 on radio, I thought. And to me, it's like they ruined a perfectly good song. Not only did it feel good for them, but it felt awful for me. Because I love when those two just make music together. And it's just sad to like say, love the song, but please don't make it like, a Spanish version. And I didn't like how they did that. And I just think that it wasn't right, to be honest. Because pop music is pop music. It can't become like Spanish music or like anything really. So I grew up in America, but I have a Spanish family, and it's just so hard to like listen to it and just think about how terrible this could sound. Because when you're an artist, you have to try to figure out like how the song's gonna turn out. And to me, that didn't sound like a song I would want to listen to. So why am I talking about this? Because I've witnessed so many strange things during the Super Bowl halftime show that I cannot explain. One was that, and then two, I'm not really a fan of Bad Bunny. I never was. I never listened to his songs, and I don't even know why, but it's just a strange thought I have. Like, I never really appreciated Spanish music, especially because, the way it sounded. It just doesn't sound like the kind of music I would want to listen to. That's why I'm a fan of electronic. Because electronic is way better, and it sounds good. It's like a electronic record. It was meant to shape the world, not like, But like it wasn't just it just wasn't meant to be. Like that's not normal to have a song like that, Like songs these days, they just don't make sense. So, yeah. But I can tell you though that the score for the end of the game was 29-13. And I was actually hoping to predict the end of the Super Bowl. What? My channel is about doing vlogs. Thank you. I do vlogs on this channel. I do it pretty frequently. But yeah, I do vlogs. If you guys saw it, I think a few months ago, I was in Dominican. And I made a lot of vlogs there. But we were in Punta Cana. We weren't on, like, the right-hand side of... Yeah. We were in Punta Cana. That was, like, way better. I did parasailing there. I didn't film that because I didn't want to drop my phone in the water. But, yeah. We went to Punta Cana last year in November. It was pretty good. If you guys do not know, before that, I made a song with my grandma who was 62 years old at the time. And the song was actually called 2025, The Year We Come Alive. That was a song I did with my grandma who was 62 at the time. So, basically, yeah. So, a lot of people may not even know this, but I can't read music at all. And this is true because a lot of the, like, if you see me practice, I am horrible. Like, I have never practiced anything in my entire life. And this is because... I actually did do piano lessons, I think it was like last year, but I had a lot going on. So like last year was horrible, I believe. Horrible, just horrible. And I say that because I was dating someone who was not right. And after I broke up, I was like, please get me out of here. And so I ended up quitting my piano lessons because of it. And I didn't do it since. So that's why I didn't That's why I'm not good. And it's because, I've been going through so much that I just stopped doing it after like a while. It just didn't feel good. It wasn't the kind of thing I would want to do anymore. So then I stopped. And then I taught myself how to sing in 2023, which was way better actually, since, that time period was way better. I graduated that same year too. But it was in like May. It wasn't in October. It was in May. May 23rd was when I graduated high school. But yeah. Hi, Cosmic. But yeah, to those who do not know, I am actually 22 this year. And my birthday is September 23rd, 2004. And for those who are wondering, there are a lot of people who were born on my birthday because, that's the whole thing. But if you look up like anyone who has September 23rd birthdays, you can just look at them. Like Bruce Springsteen is one of them, just look up anything. And if you guys see like a match that's my birthday, just let me know in the comments. Like, you can just go into Google and then just say like celebrity birthdays or whatever, and then you guys can like look it up. Or that star with like the pink around it, you can go there. And I think it's called famous celebrity birthdays or whatever. You go in there, type up like September 23rd birthdays, and you'll just find, the people that I have celebrated my birthday with. Hi, Kia. I can't say it, but hi. So I was just talking about how like the Seagulls scored 29 yesterday. And I wasn't really keeping track because I don't really like watching football very often because, But I do like soccer and basketball, though. That's my favorite. I don't really play soccer at all because that's not my thing. I do play basketball, at least I did. But to me, it's like a contact sport, and I actually did get hit in the head by a basketball before. It was not fun, actually. So when I was still in high school, I actually did get hit in the head with a basketball, and I fell over. And this was because I wasn't paying attention. I was walking across the basketball court, or whatever, and yeah, got hit in the face. But this was actually inside. It wasn't outside. It was inside. We were in like a gym. And yeah, I got hit in the face by one. It was horrible. I also got hit by a lot of things. I got hit by a softball, I think. Soccer ball, yes. I got hit in the face by a soccer ball. And then it was a football. Yep. So 3 things I got hit by. Actually, I got hit by a lot, actually. A lot of things. Arrows, I can't really get hit by. But, unless they're, like, dangerous, this is getting out of hand. I know it's getting out of hand. But basically, I used to do archery for the people who did not know. And I actually started archery. If I was still doing it to this day, it would have been 12 years since I started, which is, guess, 2014. And I was actually 9 years old when I started doing archery, for those who do not know. And I was so young. Like, a lot of the people do not start until they're like 23. But I actually started archery when I was 9. And this is because I wanted to try something new. I have never done archery before when I was young. So I started doing that. And then after like 3 years, I quit. Because I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I was already burnt out by all of it. So then I was like, okay, I'll quit and I'll move on to something else. Then I did, before and after that, I did skiing for Special Olympics back in 2015. I actually won first place in that, actually. Skiing, yeah. But we had to practice for like a while. We practiced for like a while. And I actually had to learn the basics of how to ski, like French fries, pizza. It's just so hard to do. But at that time, I think I was like 11 years old. Yeah, because now I'm 22 this year, so it would make sense. Yeah. So I'm 22 this year, if you guys do not know. But, yeah, I mean, I hope 22 I can get past, but I'm pretty sure I might not because, there's actually a lot of artists who never make it to 22 at all. Because most of them, like, die and then they don't even realize it. Like, that's the whole point. Like, you know. But I'm not going to do that. I don't want to scare you guys. And plus, you guys are my fans, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. I love you guys, and that's what matters, I wouldn't waste a single time trying to do that. Plus, you guys like my videos, and I wouldn't waste it. So, and that's what I like about you guys. You're just so incredible. Like, all the content you guys do just inspires me. It's amazing. I know some of you guys don't make videos, but I just say that because, if you guys do, then I'm inspired. That's how good I am. But, yeah, this year marks 7 years. So if you guys heard the song, it's called Fire Alarm. And there was an Australian band that made that song. And their name was Castle Comer, I think. But they're like an Australian rock band. So they're basically like 5 people, 6 people probably. And I think it was like 2019. They collaborated with a band that I think you might know called Welshly Arms. And it's been 7 years since they had their collaboration. So I say this because it is true. If you actually look up that song, you'll just be amazed. Because it's been literally like 7 years. But the original, there was an original and then there was a collaboration. The original came out in like 2018. And that's what I like about it. Like, people are just so kind, Like, I just love when artists collaborate with each other because that's a good thing. Like, if you have like one band versus a DJ, that's a different story. A DJ would have to produce an album while the rock band would just perform without even, But I produce songs too. I'm not really a huge fan of, rock music anymore, but I used to be a huge fan of it though. Now I just produce songs on Ableton Live 12, which is my favorite DAW to use. I actually like Ableton because you can do like a live DJ performance with that too. And it's just incredible. Like, I love DJing. And I say that because I actually been practicing since like 2023. I used my record player as like a DJ set, and I used to practice like every day. So that's why I'm like really good right now. But yeah, if you guys see my my other channel, which is my I was actually in a band, but we haven't like officially started yet though, because we're still trying to get like our music out there sort of. And our band name is actually Polar Signal because I couldn't find a name for it. Like, I was trying so hard to actually find a name for it. But the original name, I can tell you this. There were 5 names that we had before it became what it is now. One was The Tomb. Okay. I know it's a stupid name, but it didn't fit well, so I got rid of it. The second name was JGB's Reconnect Society Band. So that's a mixture between my name and my friend Jaden, obviously. His first name, yeah. So then it was Yeti, which is based on the Arctic, sort of. And then it was Polar, obviously Arctic again. And then it was Polar Signal. Now that's like the last one I came up with. And it worked out because I'm the only one who had that name. I'm the only one who came up with that name. So I actually had that name because I just want to try something new. Like, we've never had the best name before. So the day before we started, which was October 11th. Yeah, because we started as a band on October 12th. So we started that following day. But before that, we had to figure out a name. So it ended up becoming JGB's Reconnect Society Band before, and now it's Polar Signal. Because the second one was like a hard name to spell, and it wasn't my cup of tea. but like that's why I got rid of it, because it didn't sound like the kind of name that I wanted. Plus, rock bands spend like years trying to figure out what name they should have. You know, they like say this though. You know how like Three Doors Down got their name? They basically they spent like almost like a few months trying to figure out that name. Cause you know, like it takes a long time. It takes a long time to find a band name that's just so generic. Like I've tried I think 5 or 6 names to get the one I wanted. And that's how it happened, you know. No one criticized me. I was just waiting for it to go through. You know? Hi. Hi. But yeah, I'm pretty good. Yeah, thank you. But I actually, before I even started my band, I was actually trying to be like a DJ and record producer before. Because, you know, I love Zed and I love his music. So if you guys do not know what Zed is, he's basically like a German and Russian DJ. Okay? Because German, Russian DJ is basically Zed. I like him because he made In the Middle. He also made a song called Lost at Sea with Ryan Tedder. Now, that song is my favorite one. If you guys look up Lost at Sea featuring Ryan Tedder with Zed, you just know what it sounds like. Like, and so that song was actually not supposed to be on the album though. Like Ryan Tedder's voice wasn't originally supposed to be on that song, because here's the thing though. If Zed kept the original vocal to that song with Matthew Koma, then Lost at Sea would today be called Clarity. Because Lost at Sea was actually the song that became Clarity. So, like, Zed is better at explaining it than I am. But basically he said that Lost at Sea would today be called Clarity because Lost at Sea was just like a demo for Clarity, sort of. And then it became an actual song with Ryan Tedder on it. So after writing the top line to that song, Matthew did sing the song at some point. But then, you know, his voice was obviously way too high for a song that was chilling and all that. So then Zed was like, Matthew Koma, you're out or whatever. And so then Ryan Tedder became the lead singer on that song, or featured vocalist on that song. And so that's how that came about. Same thing for Clarity, kind of. So, like, if Zed did have Matthew Koma on Clarity, then the highest note that he was trying to sing was, like, a little bit out of his range. And Zed would have pitched it up, but Matthew didn't want it to sound like that because then it would have been, like, a remix. So that's why they had Foxes on that song, because they didn't think that Matthew would be right for the song anyway. But I give full credit to him for singing that. That is a huge risk, a really huge risk to take. And if I wrote the song, I would probably be like, it needs a little bit of a beat to it, sort of. That's what I would have said if I made it, but I didn't. So I give credit to Zed and Foxes for making that song, because they worked like really hard. They like worked so hard to make Clarity. And to be honest, not a lot of people get their albums released on time. And I say that because when they were making Clarity, they almost had to leave the entire track off the album. And this was actually a true story, because Zed was like close to like the point where his album was supposed to be like released in like the next week or so. And yeah. And yeah, so they ended up finding out that Foxes was perfect for that. So, yeah, so I think Zed could explain it a lot better. But basically, yeah, so his manager showed him like Foxes, and he loved her actually. So he and her ended up getting on a Skype call, or whatever, FaceTime call. I don't even know if it was that back in the day, because I was young. I was like 8 when that song was made. In 2012, yeah. But, yeah, so she was in England. She recorded the next day, sent it back. Clarity ended up being on the album. Isn't that exciting? So that is only because he was running out of time. But what a lot of people do not know is that the background vocals on Clarity was actually just Zed, Porter Robinson, I believe it was Matthew Coma too, and yeah. So that's, the that was actually just them singing and chanting. It was just, you know. I actually, if you guys heard, like, on the deluxe version of Clarity, there's a two remixes that I've heard called Alive by Empire of the Sun that Zed actually remixed. And there was Breaking a Sweat, which is actually the song that The Doors and Skrillex both collaborated on. But he also remixed it. So then I was like, this is different. I think I like the Alive remix a lot better because they have like a guitar solo in it, the da na 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 na, and I just love that sound. Like that guitar vibe is just, it's mind blowing. When you have a DJ who's been around since like 2012, when you have someone like him, he's just so incredible. Like it's like he resonates with you, right? So like Zed's my favorite because he made so many songs. Not only was it difficult for him, but at the time you're like, how does he do that, right? Because like artists work for years to get their songs out. Like I've wanted a number one song for like a year and a half, and nothing worked. But actually, I can tell you this. I have a new song coming out, actually. Yeah. So I know this is going to sound stupid, though, because obviously you guys love Three Doors Down. Okay? I'm not trying to bring up what happened, but basically I want to try. So, if you guys didn't hear on the news, the lead singer to Three Doors Down actually died on the 7th of February. Now, that day, I was just at my grandma's house, just doing my thing. Here on the news, and yeah. So, and I don't mean that to be like, I don't say that to be like me, but I just wanted you guys to like understand because a lot of the people like him or like them, and I just love, I just like Three Doors Down. Like they were the most incredible band of the 2000s. Like same for Coldplay, like they're amazing too. That's why I love them, because they're both incredible. They have so much talent and so much capability in what they do. Now, I was crying yesterday and the day before. Because one is that I felt bad. And I felt bad for the band also. Two was because I just couldn't stand it. And three, I've had like the worst year of my entire life. Because, like Three Doors Down was like the best band that I've ever loved. Like they have number one songs like Kryptonite and many more. That's why I like Kryptonite, because they were talking about Superman, and I love that one, But like, it was just hard to let that go. Like I can't talk about it, but that's how I felt, and it was just the saddest thing, But yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go now. If you guys need any questions, just let me know in the comments. I will make this public if you guys want to see it. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for joining. Make sure to stay tuned in for the new song that I'm going to release in, I think, a few hours. And yeah, the song is called Oh Brad, and it's a Brad Arnold tribute. Okay, Three Doors Down. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.